welcome to the show, Girl, Let's Talk. My name is Nonhlanhla Mabhikwa, and today on the show, I'm joined by a brilliant young woman from the deaf community, and she has managed to bring in together a group of about 20 people who are mostly young people and women to showcase their art. With me at the studio today is Rosemary Zhira. Rosemary, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Thank you very much for welcoming me. My name is Rosemary Zhira. This is my sign name.
Tell us about the group from Deaf Arts, popularly known as Dance, Deaf Arts National Culture Entertainment.
Well, this is a deaf drama group. It's an all-deaf drama group. We have an all-deaf drama group here, and we want to showcase our culture through dance and drama. So a lot of them are very good dancers, and they wanted to learn more and more of this.
Now, take us back into history on what you went through, the history of the group, and also the purpose of the group.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, the information about the group, we all started, I remember back in the days when I was in school at Fatima, I would see some people come and have entertainment, and I was so interested in that type of a career. So that was when I was doing my grade 1 to 7. I would see a lot of people doing that. Even when I closed school, I would go to visit, and I would see outside school, there were different drama groups who would also perform a theater, and I was very interested in this, and I thought, okay, let me also think about how we can form an all-deaf drama group. But every time we would go to different places, and we were called on workshops and meetings, and we also wanted to showcase our issues, our challenges that we face as the deaf community. We didn't have much of a voice, and we had heard that theater is a powerful tool of advocacy and awareness. So we thought, how are we going to do that as the deaf community? So we planned on forming this group, and in 2018 we started this group, and I called other members who were also interested, and we started an organization called Deaf Arts. And then we were thinking, as an organization, how can we progress, because most of us were not really good in all those arts. So we went to Amakosi, and we also wanted to have to learn from those gurus. So I was voted as the chairperson of the group, and we started working together as a group, and we went to Amakosi, and I wrote a letter which we sent to Amakosi, to the then who was the founder and owner of the place, Nonhlanhla. And she was like, how can you as a deaf group work? How are we going to do that? How can we have a deaf group doing theater? How are you going to hear music? And he had a lot of issues that unanswered questions that he had. And I told him, no, let's just try and see how we can do it. So we started. Unfortunately, the challenge we faced was that we didn't have interpreters. We would take some of our children to come and help us with interpreting, but really it wasn't good. And it was difficult for us to progress. So, well, he tried working with us, and he said, fine, let me see how we go. And then he said, look for a better interpreter. And eventually he saw that we were a big group of people who were really interested in the arts. But then he was worried about, how am I going to teach you? Because I don't even know sign language. I need to teach you all the fundamentals of theater. How are you going to learn? The challenge we faced was the communication, the language barrier. Eventually, we looked for professional sign language interpreters. Like I said, the young children, it was difficult. And they would come for some time, but later on, they would just leave the group. And it was difficult for us to work. So he continued to say, you know what, if you really want to succeed, look for professional interpreters. So that's when we went to Sign Language Interpreter Trust and Interpreting Agency here in Bulawayo, and we went back to Nonhlanhla. And he said, oh, okay, fine. If you have found an interpreter, come and let's start working. And we started working. it was successful. And he put me through to be a producer at Kiona TV because he had seen the seriousness we had. And through an interpreter, we could do so much. So I started being a producer at Kiona TV, and we're working on the programs for the deaf community on TV. And then at the same time, our group was also working there at Amakosi, and we were working very hard, learning there, and with the help of interpreters, we were doing a lot of work. But unfortunately, it took so long because of the shortage of interpreters. But now we've done so much. We've been to a lot of competitions. We've been to Wange, we've been to Mpilo, we've been to Geraldine Rocher competitions where we actually won. And we've been teaching a lot of people about the deaf community, because a lot of people were thinking maybe the deaf are somehow maybe mentally challenged. But no, you can see now, with the equalization of having interpreters, we can do so much, and we are so relieved that we are working.
Wow, that's wonderful. And also, at a time when we lost Mama, the wife to the late Ubaba Nonhlanhla last week, and discovering some of the work that they have done for our community here in Bulawayo and the deaf community as well. Now, Rosemary, you spoke about challenges, mainly the interpreter challenges. What were the other challenges that you were faced with in your work as dance?
Well, the issue in the deaf community, a lot of people really want to join the arts, but we face a lot of challenges. The major challenge is other people understanding us. Because maybe, for example, if we go to the hospitals, a lot of deaf people are given wrong medication because there are no interpreters. And if you say, please, may I have an interpreter, they ask you, who is going to pay for that person? Who is going to pay for that interpreter? But to be honest, they don't even understand us. So we have faced a lot of issues because of the shortage of interpreters. I know an interpreter can solve all those problems, but without an interpreter, we are really suffering as the deaf community, because the issue comes as who is going to be paying the interpreter. But this is our necessity. We need an interpreter for us to face those challenges. There are a lot of issues that we face because of the shortage of interpreters. You know what? With a hearing person, when you go to see a doctor, it's easy for you to voice yourself and talk about. Even if you have issues, that you can voice them. But me as a deaf person, even if I try to voice, no one hears me. I will have to look for an interpreter again for me to be able to challenge that issue of me having an interpreter. So it's a real challenge.
Now, coming back to dance, you said, it's an entertainment advocacy. What are some of the forms of art that you showcase as a group?
Okay. So for us, we do drama, we've got comedy, we've got modeling, a whole lot of different performance theater that we have in arts, performing arts. We want a lot of people to understand about the deaf community through this group.
Yes. And speaking of understanding the deaf community, what are some of the misconceptions that people have about the deaf community that you work as a group to dispel?
There are a lot of misconceptions. A lot of people think that as the deaf community, we miss out on a lot of information. For example, others will tell you that the deaf person can read. No, don't worry about us. We don't need a sign language interpreter. We can only read and write with the deaf interpreter. But we miss a lot of information because we just pick a few words that we might understand. As a result, we lose a lot of information because people think we can read and write.
Speaking about misinformation and disinformation, we are from an electoral period. What are some of, how has misinformation and disinformation affected you as a community?
Yeah, a lot of people deaf people are confused when it comes to information, because even when they are other people who say they know sign language, the type of sign language they sign is confusing for the deaf people. So a hearing person at times, we just don't want anyone to come and say they know sign language and sign to us information that's below standard. It confuses us even further. I think what's proper is for maybe when we are having voter education, we need all the information to be clearly conveyed to us in sign language, not in a language. Those people who really don't know much of sign language will lose a lot of information with people who don't know sign language the proper way.
Yes. Besides sign language, what did having a proper sign language interpreter, what more can be done to make sure that, there are so many things that happen in terms of electoral processes. So what can be done to make sure that we do not lose the deaf community along the way?
You know what, I think for us, I would always talk about an interpreter because that's our accessibility, For example, when ZEC was having their information dissemination, they should have called a qualified sign language interpreter so that the deaf people do not miss. And then for us, equality means having a sign language interpreter. So that's why I will keep talking about them. If we think about helping a deaf person, it's important for you to quickly call an interpreter so that we are at par with the hearing person. Because for a hearing person, they get everything in their language. But for us, without an interpreter, we won't be able to understand anything. So it's important. For the deaf people, they don't know any information at all because we have no interpreter. But with an interpreter, you will see that all this information that was disseminated to everyone, it's going to be to the, here it's not just Bulawayo, Harare, Victoria Falls, Masvingo. In fact, the war of Zimbabwe, there are a lot of deaf communities and we want them to be at par with the hearing people. But how? It's through the interpreter. So please try, for you to include us, we need an interpreter.
Coming back to dance, you said you are a tool of advocacy. What are some of the issues that you advocate for?
As a group, we are really bringing awareness about the deaf community, about our rights as the deaf community, and also about everything that you need to know about the deaf community, and also teaching the deaf about their rights, and also for us to have equality and to be respected as humans. So we're trying to say to people, we are all equal. Don't look down on us, and just remember that we are equal with everyone.
Wow. Great work ahead of you, and I'm happy to see the work that you are doing and that you are advancing yourself as well. As you said earlier on, you are a producer. Maybe just a snippet of your work as a producer. What are you working on?
Okay. This is what we are planning for our project. It's called the Deaf Culture Show, the Deaf Culture Show that will be airing on Kiona TV. So we have, for example, the dramas that we are doing with Deaf Arts, we'll bring them on TV. And we'll also help to show people the challenges that we are facing as a deaf community. So it's unfortunate now we haven't yet kickstarted because we are lacking funding on the TV station. But once we are already working, we are working on a lot of programs right now, and we are waiting for the funding. Once we get, you will see us bringing more awareness through that TV station also.
Now, when we look back at dance, what are some of the things that you are proud of to say, this we did well?
Oh, there are a lot of achievements. A lot of achievements. The first one is the bringing of awareness. And the unity within the group, it's awesome, it's wonderful. We work so hard. Even when we have issues, we have problems, we work together as a unity. And we have been working very well with interpreters. And we have been doing very well. I'm so happy. I know there are a lot of issues, especially within the hospital. The drama that we are showcasing about the miscommunication in hospital, I know it will cascade to the courts, to the other other legal sectors so that everyone brings awareness on that.
Now, 2024 is upon us. What are you looking forward to when you think of 2024?
There are a lot of issues. As a group, we want to continue working hard and reach our goal and succeed, because this is our first in Zimbabwe, an all-deaf drama group that has been performing all over Zimbabwe and showcasing their acts. So in 2024, here we come. You will see how hard we've been working as a group, and we want to reach our targets. Because this is the first in Zimbabwe, and we want to show the whole world that this is something big that we are bringing to you. So this is our wish for 2024.
Well, thank you so much, Rosemary, for coming to our show and sharing with us the work that you are doing as the deaf community. And we really wish a brighter 2024.
Thank you. Thank you very much for having me.
There you have it, guys. You've heard from Rosemary on the work that they are doing as the Deaf Arts, speaking about the rights and advocating for a better life for the deaf community. Do stay with us for another segment. Welcome back. And now on the studio, I'm joined by Tsungi, the programs manager for Deaf Arts, and she'll be sharing with us the work that they'll be doing come 2024. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nonhlanhla. Thank you for having me.
Thank you, Tsungi, and thank you for bringing Rosemary as well. Now, earlier on, I asked Rosemary about 2024. If you can enlighten us on the programs that you'll be doing in the coming year.
Okay, thank you so much. So, as Deaf Arts, we are running a project that we're calling Celebrating Deaf Culture, a theatrical journey of empowerment and inclusion. So this is a project that has been sponsored by Culture Fund and the EU delegation to Zimbabwe, where we are training these 20 into in a lot of issues on theater, dance, drama, comedy, and script writing, just about everything, all the fundamentals of theater. After which they are taking their play that we call Miscommunication. This play that we did is about the challenges that we face as the deaf community in the healthcare institutions. So they will be showcasing that play all over Zimbabwe. Bulawayo, particularly, we've got 4 showcases, the shows that we'll be having here in Bulawayo, and then we'll also be going to other parts of Zimbabwe, particularly Matebeleland and Midlands. Already we've had our show in Wange, where we featured at the Shangano Arts Festival, and it touched a lot of people. A lot of people were like, okay, these are the challenges that the deaf community are facing. Most of them they didn't see, because deafness is what we call a hidden disability.
Very true. Yeah.
Yes, because when you see, I'm sure most of you, when you saw Rosemary here, you had no idea she was deaf until she started using her hands to speak.
Yes.
So it's a hidden disability. So most of the times they go to the hospital, and that's when the doctor or the nurse starts getting a shock. Okay, how am I going to communicate with this person? But time is lost at that time. And at the end of the day, because of the miscommunication that goes through, there might be a misdiagnosis or a wrong diagnosis, and it can be even lead to tragical consequences. So this is the drama, the theater play that they are showcasing all around to show we are targeting government departments, we are targeting policymakers to help the deaf community to advocate for their rights. Because as a deaf community, we are saying that there is a need for qualified interpreters to help, like Rosemary has already said. There is a need for the deaf community to have interpreters to help them in their day-to-day life. So this is the play that will be taking along. And it's not just the play that will be having, we'll also have dances that have been beautifully choreographed, and we've been working with some of the best in the industry. We've been working with people like Witness from Bambelela Arts Ensemble. We've been working with Arnold Ndebele from Segunjaloma, Africa, because we are working with Amakosi, you know, that's where all the legends in theater are coming from. So we are standing standing on the hands of giants, and we know we are going to be going far. Come 2024, we've got a lot of shows that are lined up for your entertainment as well as education.
Well, I know you've performed at some competitions and everything. Are you thinking of performing at weddings and other celebrations, or are you already doing that?
Yes, indeed. If you see our performances, you can see that really they are I don't know what the best standard that you can ever think of. Because like I'm saying, we are trained from Amakosi, and you know that wherever you go, if you mention Amakosi, that's where the best come from. We are so grateful to the help that we got from the late Nonhlanhla and the late widow of Nonhlanhla, Utembegile Ngwabi. She has been the one who believed in us as a group, as an all-deaf group, who wanted to learn theatre. Although at first, everyone did not understand how it was going to be done, but they believed in us, and they've been working with us. And because of the people they've already been working with in the industry, it's easier for us to then connect with them. Like I mentioned, some of the people we're already working with. And so we are looking forward to a great year in 2024 where we'll be showcasing our acts, and people can then, you can invite us to perform at weddings. We have been performing at as an entertainment group in many functions, not just for education, although, of course, our main act is to advocate. We are using art as a way of advocating for our rights in the deaf community.
Wow, what a tribute. You know, when I invited them, I didn't know that I'm going to be speaking to the people who have been trained by Ubaba Nonhlanhla and Umama Utembegile Ngwabi. May their souls rest in peace. Thank you so much, Tsungi. Thank you so much, Rosemary. And thank you to Ubaba Mabhikwa, who's our sign language interpreter. You know, I've learned a lot from this show in terms of, you know, producing as well, and in terms of inclusion, so that we have everybody having access to our work and hearing what we talk about. And I hope that you've learned a thing or two. Thank you for watching our show. Please do stay tuned for more of our shows.